Retirement should be the best years of your life. Too many people look back with major regrets. In this video, we're going to share with you the 5 top retirement regrets that people wish they would have known and how to avoid them. So whether you've already retired or just starting saving, stick around because this could change everything for you. So here's the first regret, the most common regret. That's not saving enough money. The story we've all heard before. People entering retirement and they haven't saved enough. And look, the numbers don't lie. In a recent study shows that about 46% of Americans regret not starting to save money for retirement. Staggering statistic. Now, this regret is particularly painful because time is a key element in growing your retirement nest egg. Compound interest works best when you start early. But unfortunately, life happens. You start a family. You have too many student loans. Didn't start making the money that you wanted to later in your career. And saving for a far-off retirement seems less urgent. But those who don't prioritize saving early in life find themselves scrambling in their later years. So what can you do to avoid this? Well, if you're listening to this in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, the best time to start is now, today. Max out that 401k if you can. Contribute to your IRAs. Pay yourself every 2 weeks. And if you're already in retirement or nearing retirement, all is not lost. You can still find ways to budget. Cut back on unnecessary expenses or even pick up a part-time job if you want to supplement your savings. You may ask yourself, what can I do to start saving and avoid this issue? You've got to have a budget. In today's environment, we have too many subscriptions, we spend frivolous money, and we don't take full accountability on a budget. So do a budget. Are you maxing out your 401k? Put as much as you can to at least make sure you're getting your match. And make sure no matter what, pay yourself every 2 weeks. Whether it's 5%, 10%, or 20%, the power of compound interest over time is your best friend. Take advantage of that to its fullest. So when we say pay yourself, something that we've helped our clients with here at BAM Advisory Group is we had them put some of that money in a checking account so they can build their emergency funds. The other half of that money saving went into their 401k or an after-tax account, an investment account, something that they could access in case of emergency, but ideally they don't need that money. It's for the long term. And then some of you go, well, David, I can't save 10%. What should I do? This goes right back to the budget. If you're married, do this exercise with your spouse. There is more money than you can save than what you know, because if you're not on the same page with what you're spending every single month, there could be hundreds of thousands of dollars you could be potentially saving. Just get on the same page, have that conversation, do a deep dive on your budget and expenses. The second biggest retirement regret is not prioritizing your health. And we see this all the time. Failing to prioritize your health is a big mistake. You know, retirement should be the time in your life where you're at your healthiest. You're traveling, you want to spend time with your grandkids, you're picking up new hobbies, you're golfing, you're bike riding. But ask yourself this question: what if your health isn't there to support those dreams? I've heard too many stories from retirees, ones that we work with, that they haven't taken care of their bodies when they were younger. And it's just not your physical health, it's also your mental health. First, let's talk about your diet. You've got to eat good food, right? There's a rule that we follow. It's an 80-20 rule. If you eat well 80% of the time, you're going to be okay. Cook your own food. Eat a lot of protein. Go for long walks. If you can't get to the gym, try to work out 2 or 3 days a week. It's not like you have to go run a marathon or start doing CrossFit or lift heavy weights. It's consistency over time. Think about how you invest your money. Invest that into your health. Slowly over time wins the race. Now, the third biggest retirement regret is not spending enough time with your loved ones. Not having those deep relationships that you used to have in your 20s and 30s. And this one hits close to home for many people. Personally, you know, I've had a strained relationship with my father up until most recently. There were things that my dad did that I wasn't a fan of or was ashamed of, and I just ignored my father. He would call me, I'd never pick up the phone. I mean, now my dad's in his 80s, almost died a few times, had cancer, and I just decided to forgive them. One of the recommendations here that I can give everyone is forgive those people that are the closest in your life. Don't harbor resentment, because in the last 10 or 15 years in your life, it's not about how much money you have. It's about who you can call, who's going to be there for you, and who do you love the most. And truly, forgiveness is more powerful for you than it is the person that you're forgiving. And many people look back at their lives and regret not spending more quality time with your friends and family. Now, if you're starting a young family, we recommend having a date night with your spouse. Put something on the calendar every single week and commit to that and make sure nothing gets in the way. If you have younger kids, choose a day of the week where you can spend time with each kid alone and allow them to pick the activity. It'll be one of the most rewarding things that you ever do. Or if your kids are older and out of the house, make it a point to call them. Have those shared hobbies together where it's skiing, golfing, watching sporting events. Prioritize the relationships with the people that you love, because in retirement, those are the relationships that are going to give you passion and purpose. Okay, so retirement regret number 4 is waiting too long to pursue passions. This is a big one, right? A lot of retirees think that when they finally have time, they'll travel the world, start painting, pick up golf, or write that book. But it really doesn't happen that way. You get so consumed with work, so consumed with kids. I see too many times that retirees left their passions behind them as they're building their career or their family. And the most common refrain is, I thought I get to it when I retired, but I never did. What's stopping you from starting the passion or project now? Why wait for retirement? It's too easy to push your dreams off into the future. Time is something we can never get back. Pursuing what you love doesn't have to wait until you retire. Start small and fit things in your life today. We just had a client come into our office and talk about this, is like, wanting to start baking. So I recommended that the two of them, the husband and the wife, do it together. They go to a baking class once a week. That is now one of their favorite things to do, is go once a week for about an hour together and start baking. In fact, they just brought in some amazing muffins that the team absolutely loved. When you're in retirement and you have more time than you've ever had before, having shared passions with your loved ones, and then just as important, passions that you do by yourself, will give you a retirement that's filled with passion and purpose. And the fifth and final biggest retirement regret is not planning or accounting for a health event. One of the things that I've experienced personally with my clients that I've worked with for a long time that are in their 50s and 60s, they just experienced taking care of an elderly parent. And it's not only financially expensive, it's really emotionally expensive. Studies show that the cost today for a long-term care or healthcare event, just in Colorado, about $90,000 to $100,000. So if you're watching this in your 50s or 60s, this is something that may not even happen 20 or 30 years from now. To me, it doesn't matter whether you have $2 million, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million. This could be one of the most expensive life events as you experience the latter stages of your life. And making sure that you have a plan where you're leveraging your assets to pay for a long-term care event, I've seen be very valuable. The second piece to that is making sure you communicate what that plan is to your children. If you don't have a plan, what it really does is put burden on your children. Even though your children love you, they really don't want to spend 3 or 5 years having to take care of you. So have that conversation with your children. And if you have questions about what that planning looks like or strategies, call us. Click on the link below, schedule a time to talk with one of our advisors, and we'll share with you what we do for our clients to see if it's valuable for you and your family. Thanks for watching. Don't stop here. Keep investing in yourself. Watch another video. In fact, leave us comments. We're all about maximizing the one thing that money can't buy, which is your time.